Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, all of you. Now today our presentation is method of compaction and why compaction is important. I gonna and my group member want to explain this topic to you all the members. So we are 4 group members. We work together and make this presentation for you, for knowledge and for exploring. So the compaction equipments. First, we must have to understand why compaction is important. What is compaction? So, first we have some outlines, that is definition, types of compaction equipments, choosing of a right equipment for compaction of soil. This one thing is most important thing in compacting the soil, because if you are choosing a wrong one compacting equipment, then it will may cause you a heavy cost, or it become uneconomical. And the different types of compaction equipments, then we can move toward advantages and disadvantages of all types of compaction equipments. Next slide. What is compaction? The process of applying mechanical energy to a soil mass so as to rearrange the particles and making it dense through the exclusion of air from the voids between the soil grains. In the process of compaction, we have to remove air, not water or any other thing. And a little amount, sometimes a little amount or up to 0 amount of the water will be excluded from the soil. So this is non-compacted soil, this is compacted soil, and you can see that the soil particles is like this, and the water content is already present in at same amount, and the air is excluded from this. So next slide. Types of compaction equipments. These are the few types of the compaction equipments, and I will discuss these: smooth wheel roller, pneumatic or rubber tire roller, sheep foot rollers, vibrating drum on smooth wheel roller, and the hand-held vibratory plates or rammer. And this is the pictures or the overview for different types of rollers. First one is smooth wheel roller, second one is pneumatic or rubber tire roller, third one is sheep wheel roller, and the fourth one is vibratory roller, and the third one is hand-held roller. Fifth one is hand-held roller. Next. Choosing of a right equipment for the compaction of soil. This thing is most important in most of the cases, that you must have a good knowledge about all the equipments, project details, and each and everything you can consider first, and then you have to choose which type of equipment is good for your project. So choosing of a right for your construction project is important, as the wrong one can result in a poor workmanship, pockets of air that will sink the structure, or uneven spaces that can be dangerous. Uneven spaces are very dangerous in case of compaction if you are not performing in a good way. Figuring out the right type of road depends on a few factors. So how we can point out that which one compaction equipment is good for my project? For this, we have some factors. Length of the project. Depending on the length, sometimes it will be more coefficient to rent a roller than outright buying one. If you are having a project of 10 kilometer road, construction of a 10 kilometer road, and you want to buy a smooth wheel roller for that project, it becomes very cost effective and uneconomical, and this is not an engineering solution. You must have an engineering knowledge so as to manage your budget as well as a good construction. Next slide. Type of soil. Figuring out the type of soil that's going to be compacted. Now, fine grain sand will need a different roller than clay. Plus, if you are laying asphalt, you are going to figure out if it will be better to have a static or vibratory roller. On the basis of the soil characteristics, you must have to choose a good one roller. Knowledge about different rollers. Figuring out whether you need a smooth or paired foot roller. Smooth roller is first one, and the paired foot roller is also called as sheep foot roller. For your project might seem difficult at a glance, but learning about the two rollers and the other can definitely help you pick the right type of the roller for your construction project. Understanding the benefits of each roller can make choosing the right one for your project simpler. So you must have a good knowledge about your project, about machinery, about distance between your project and machinery. Next. Smooth wheel rollers. Smooth wheel rollers are, as the name implies, use one large smooth wheel drum in the front and either one or two wheels on the rear end of the compaction. There are generally two types of smooth wheel rollers: single and double drum rollers. They are also known as static rollers. Next, uses of smooth wheel rollers. Smooth wheel rollers are ideal for gravel. It's a very best choice for you to choose a smooth wheel roller if you are having this type of soil or this type of construction site. That is, you are laying a gravel, sand, and surface ballast and surface dressing. They are not surface dressing means to make a surface clean and plain. They are not effective in compacting embedments. In case of embedments, it is not effective and softer, tough, but they are the most effective in compacting silty and sandy soils with the fewest passes. Next, fewest passes means that you have to move it front and back at minimum time. Next, video play करना है 10 seconds की play करना. This is first one, that is smooth wheel roller. Now remove the next slide. Now some of the advantages or uses of the smooth wheel roller. Compacting gravels. We are compacting gravels with the help of this one. Compacting sands, such a material where crushing is required because of its heavy weight. The ground coverage is 100%. It means that if the length of the first wheel is 12 feet or 10 feet, it must cover 10 feet of the ground. The ground pressure exercised by a tender roller is about 10 to 17 kilogram per centimeter square. जिसकी ground coverage बता रहा है. It is telling about ground coverage, and then the optimum working speed is 3 to 6 kilometer per hour. About 8 passes are ample for compacting 20 centimeter layer. If the thickness of the layer is 20 centimeter, so it's enough for you to pass a roller 8 times. The paramount grade a roller can climb is 1 in 5 feet. It means that the grade in the road means if we are having a road which is 5 feet long and having a 1 feet grade, so it's better for us to use this type of roller. Competitive effects are static weights. Because most of the compaction is applied due to its static weight. Next slide. Now disadvantages. Sometimes we are having some disadvantages in case of rollers, which depend on the wrong selection of the site or the wrong selection of the machinery. Compaction of clay or sand is not recommended for smooth wheel roller, since there are several empty voids in the clay, soil and sand which cannot be reduced without vibrators. One of the major advantages in Pakistan is that skilled person required. In most of the time we are not having a skilled person for this, and he is moving 2 or 3 times from the dead construction site, and after 2 or 3 years or 2 or 3 heavy rains, the road will be not good for use. Sometimes it has also become uneconomical to compact soil by using a smooth wheel roller because of revealing of cracks. If we are having a very soft soil, in that type of soil, we can't use smooth roller. Because of this, if we compact this with the help of roller, then I will moving away from that compacted surface, the cracks will occur. So we must, for soft soil, we must have to use a sheep foot roller or any other type. Next, pneumatic roller. Pneumatic rollers are similar to that one, but they are having rubber ties. Pneumatic rollers, sometimes called pneumatic tie rollers, are a type of large white roller with several rows of rubber ties on the front and the rear. The rubber ties provide 80% of the coverage. In case of smooth wheel roller, we are providing 100% of the coverage. And it is providing equal area and uniform pressure throughout the width of the ties. So other three methods are remain left. So it can be explained by my other team member, Muhammad Talha.
1 minute, please. 1 minute.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'll continue the same topic. Let me first make a background for you. All the compactive equipment use the 4 compactive forces to compact a soil or to densify a soil. The 4 compactive forces are: one is the static pressure, other one is known as manipulation, the third one is impact, and the fourth one is vibration. All the compactive equipment used are based on these 4 compactive forces which they use to densify the soil. So it is also compactive equipment sheep foot rollers. This is based on the compactive force which is manipulation or kneading action. In sheep foot rollers, actually there are some molds or studs on the drum of this roller. These molds or studs actually exerts the greater pressure on a smaller area, so it increases the localized pressure, and thus it penetrates the compaction to the lower layers, not like the smooth wheeled roller which compacts the upper surfaces. So other equipment is other equipment is vibrating drum or smooth wheel roller. In this equipment, actually the 3 compactive forces are combined. The one is static pressure, which is due to the gravity or the weight of this drum, and it also has impactive force and the vibratory force. In the drum of the vibrating drum or smooth wheel roller, it is filled with ballast. So when it rotates, when the wheel or the drum of this roller rotates, the ballast also, and it collides with the surface, and it exerts some vibrations on the soil surfaces, which creates vibration and thus compacting the soil. It is usually uses for the compacting of granular base forces, and sometimes for asphalt, and are useful for compacting grit. One is the handheld vibratory plates or rammer. This equipment is usually used for small areas or for narrow areas or for the areas which are pre-constructed. Means we compact the size on which there is some construction. We have no access of rollers or heavy machinery to that area. So this equipment, there is some vibration. This also uses the vibration force, vibration compactive force to compact the soil. It is a light equipment designed for construction in order to compact. Use materials such as granular soil, gravel, small aggregate, and hard asphalt mixes. The vibration created by a flat computer moves the particle together. So these are all the equipment compared.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.